Good evening.
Good evening.
Uh, okay. I think we should start now because of time. I want to believe that people will join us as time goes on. Yeah. So I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. I'm glad to see you. I'm glad that you are here. Thanks for coming.
Good
So
evening. Okay, start the mirror, Africa mirror. 500.
let me start with something we all know but rarely say out loud, and that's criticism. Criticism hurts. It does not matter how strong you are, it does not matter how confident you pretend to be. When someone says something negative about you, it hurts, and sometimes it stays with you for days, weeks, and even years. Maybe it was a comment about your work, maybe it was something someone said about your looks, your choices, or your life. Maybe it came from a stranger online or words from someone you love. And no matter how many good things people say, that one negative comment keeps playing in your head like a broken record. Today, we're going to talk about that, not about how to never feel hurt again, because it's not realistic, to be very honest, but about how to handle criticism without letting it destroy you, how to tell the difference between feedback that can help you grow and comments that are just meant to tear you down. And most importantly, how to protect your peace when the world has something negative to say. So here's the truth I want us to hold today, that not every opinion about you deserves your attention, and not every negative comment is true, and you do not have to defend yourself to everyone who disagrees with you.
Eh?
But what is not up for a vote? So
Good
if
evening. I
you
can't
came
do
here
that.
today feeling wounded by
Sorry.
someone's words, you are in the right place. If you are tired of replaying that one cruel comment in your mind, you are not alone. And if you are ready to learn how to let criticism roll off your back instead of sinking into your heart, let us begin. So I want to welcome you to this chat. I want us to feel comfortable and heal from whatsoever negative comment or criticism we have faced and experienced. So, to be clear, today's topic is handling criticism and negative comments. And we have our speaker here for today in person of Mr. Ayobami Arolo, who is going to be taking us through the topic. So, I will be inviting him to today's section as we start. So, Mr. Arulu can start training.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening,
Good evening.
Covenant. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, thank
Please, can help me project so
okay.
that we can start while we
Okay.
await other participants to join.
Yes. Okay. Um, okay. How about now? I've started.
Okay, please, can you put it to slideshow, please?
Slideshow. Okay, I'm coming.
Oh, perfect. Thank you so much. Good
Okay.
evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Okay, so the topic is handling criticism and negative comments, and I want to appreciate the organizer for bringing up this topic because it is one of the things we need at this particular period of time. There are a lot of things going on that we need to focus on, but people don't pay attention to it because they are not something that is being learned in class, but In our day of life, we are going to face it one way or the other. So, I said the other time, the topic is handling criticism and negative comments. And you can see the pictures on the slide that there is a guy, there are two guys. Let me use them as men. Okay, one was talking, one was with the book, one is with the book, and the other one was talking to the other person. So maybe a boss and a junior colleague trying to tell him that why have you not done this thing? Why do you do this in the wrong way? So if the picture is showing somebody criticizing someone. So that's what's part of one of the things we are going to be dealing with in today's um, uh, teachings. All right, next slide. My name is Ayobami Arowolubai, and these are the outline. Okay, we'll be talking about so these are the outline, introduction, and all. No, next slide, so that we won't waste time. All right, this is another picture. I want us to look at this picture and put ourselves in that format. Like I've been in this shoe that two, three people or four are criticizing or pointing hand on one of the things I'm doing. So criticism is, look at the guy, he's trying to cover his face because of what people are saying is causing low self-esteem and all. So by the way of introduction, he said criticism is part of everyday life. It is part of everyday life. In one way or the other, you will face somebody, you will have somebody criticizing you, either to the positive or to the negative. And he says it affects performance, relationship, and mental health. So when we face criticism, when somebody criticizes us, it affects our performance. It causes us either to do better or to ability not to do more. We either meet up with the task that we are being criticized on, or we are not able to meet up with that task. It affects our relationship. You realize that the person will now start to be on his own. I just want to be my own. You won't want to relate with people again. That's affecting the relationship, affecting our social life, our relationship with people. It affects, and look at the picture, you realize that instead of the person to be happy, he's trying to cover himself, trying to be alone. Isolation will come in, and it also affects our mental health because we start seeing ourselves as somebody that does not meet up to the task. So criticism will affect our mental health. You see, the person covering the face is, that's like something like low self-esteem and all. So this is part of the things that when we are talking about criticism, these are the things it caused. And he said learning to handle it is a key life skill. So when we face this criticism in performance and relationship and our mental health, so learning to handle it is a key life skills. So next slide. So, so criticism and negative. Are you hearing me? Please next slide.
Yes. Uh, okay.
Criticisms and negative comments are part of everyday life, like I said. So in your in workplace, in classroom, in family, and especially online, we are also dealing with negative comments online. So look at the picture again. You see a family, they're having dinner, and somebody is facing down. The other people are pointing out and at him. Two ladies, three ladies, and one guy. They are pointing out at him, trying to tell him that why do you do this? Why are you so? They are trying to criticize him about one or two things. So that is it. So it can affect our. It can be occur at classroom, at workplace. Another picture showing the workplace. You know, and all. So criticism and evaluation of someone's work behavior and idea. So when we criticize, it is an evaluation of somebody's work behavior or idea. Is the person meeting up with the task? Probably the behavior of the person is not also good. So the idea the person supply is not good. So that's specifically what criticism is all about. And it can be positive when criticism is positive, it's called praise, and when it's negative, it's called a point of loss. So, if we are in an academic settings, when somebody presents, when we have a presentation or something like that, we hear that they will say, "Come and criticize him." critique him or her, meaning that evaluate the person's uh, work, person's presentation, person presentation and all. So now when you are evaluating, you are not evaluating to so when you evaluate, it's either evaluate to, hey, thank you for your presentation and all, but I feel like you should so do this and that. But if it, so it can be a positive evaluation or a negative evaluation. So that's what criticism is all about. People can either criticize you to in a positive way or in a negative way. Next slide. Now, sources of criticism. So criticism comes from supervisors or teachers. So when we go and meet our supervisors or teachers, can be a performance review, can be a grade or feedback on assignment. So look at the picture showing a lecturer and the student trying to review probably a thesis or some other things. So that is another a way where criticism can come from. It can also come from peers or colleagues, peers, colleagues, team. So a team project, group work on informal comments. So when you are with your colleagues and all, criticism can come, but those ones are kind of, it is not a boss to a servant relationship, it's a peer. So they can also criticize your project and your group work and all. Family and friends also comment about behavior, choice, and attitude. So when we are at home and with our colleagues also, we can also receive criticism from them, from families, from friends. These ones they will be assessing our behavior, probably our choice and attitude to things. Also, strangers, they can criticize us, especially online, social media comments and all. So when we are on social media, we make a post, you realize that someone will just come from nowhere, drop an opinion that is against what you have posted. So that one is a criticism in one way or the other. So can receive comment from different angles and all that is against your opinion. Next slide. Now, talking about functions of criticism, why do we criticize? Why do when you make a presentation, you say criticize this presentation. When you are at work, you did not meet up the task. Why did your boss criticizing you? Why is your colleague criticizing you? Why? Now it is for what? For improvement. So anybody that is being criticized positively or negatively, it is for improvement to help someone to do better, which means you have not met up with the task. It is yet the criticism is what for you to what improve and to become better. Number two is to control. Now to get someone to change in a way that benefits the critics. So now when you criticize, when if you are the person that criticize someone, you mean you are talking from your own point of view. So you want the person to change to the mood at which you as your point, you want the person to change to your own view, or to see it from your own point of view. So it can be as a result of what the control as well. Also it can be as a result of discharge of emotions, meaning to vent anger or frustration. So somebody can also criticize you as a means of frustration. Maybe they were expecting higher results, but what they see or what you presented on your work and your was did not meet up with the task. So they can talk from a point of anger or frustration. Criticism can also, or another function is an attack. So this one is talking about to hurt, to belittle, or to undermine somebody that somebody that his own form of criticism is an attack, means that they are hurt with one of the things you are saying. This can come from imagine you are talking about something that somebody has had a past hurtful experience on, and you are saying good thing about that same thing. The person will not be happy about it. So he might be saying it as a means of attack, that no, you get that kind of thing. So it can be as a means to attack, to or to belittle or to undermine somebody. So I said note that understanding the purpose behind criticism help you to decide how seriously to take it and how to respond to it. So when somebody criticizes you, you need to understand the purpose, you need to understand the reasons. So this will help you to know how to take it serious. Do I need to take this serious, or how do I want to respond to it? So as an individual in our daily living, our daily day of life, we need to know the purpose Are you criticizing me to become better, or are you criticizing me because you have a past experience? Are you criticizing me because of your emotions or to control me? So we need to know. Next slide. So talking about the psychological reaction, please, are you following? Talking about the
Yes.
psychological reactions. Okay, so as we all know that criticism also have effect on our mental health. So psychologically, criticism hurts self-image. So you will see somebody that has been doing well before, because of the person was criticized, the zeal, the energy to become better start reducing. The person starts seeing himself that I am not good enough. So you can see the person start saying to I am not good enough. I did not even worth it. I can't become the governor, I can't be this, all because somebody told you you are not competent. Do you get? So it can have a psychological effect on somebody. That's a self-image of how you perceive yourself. Now, another thing is that it triggers fight, flight, and freeze response. What do I mean by fight, flight, and freeze response? In terms of the fight means you start arguing, you start defending, you start attacking back. So you realize that you just start saying you don't even know what you are talking about. The person starts having that responses that I don't even know what I'm saying. The confidence will be out. So criticism will make us to reduce our self-confidence, our self-worth. It's talking about flight, avoid the persons or situation, withdraw or shut down. So when you are being criticized psychologically, where you need to talk, you will not be able to talk. I don't know if some of us have this experience while we were in our primary, secondary schools, that you know the answer, but because if you say the answer or make a point, somebody will just laugh you out that what is he saying? So because your colleagues are making jest of you, even despite knowing the answer, you will keep short. So it makes us to withdraw. It makes us not to give our own opinion. It makes us to shut up when we ought to speak up. It can also cause freeze. Now, freeze in the sense that you go blank, you can't think of what to say. So when somebody criticizes you, your cognitive aspect, which is your frontal lobe, medically they say the frontal lobe, where we think and reasoning, that ought to work in terms of you thinking. You won't be able to think again. You just realize that what you are saying, your mind is not even there. So you go blank on anything other people ask you. So it leads to a negative thinking pattern, like I made a mistake, so I am a complete failure. When we are being criticized, you realize that what you think you are better or you are good on, you start thinking you are not good or competent on it. Next slide.
Okay.
So criticism can be two types. It can be constructive and it can be destructive. Like when I was talking the other time, I said that criticism can be of positive and negative. Now we have a constructive criticism. Now this constructive criticism is aimed to help you to improve on yourself. When you, like I said, when you make a presentation and somebody say critique this presentation, it's to evaluate yourself to become better. So you are saying that to improve yourself. When you are at work and you make a certain effort to do something, but you are not you didn't get it to the point of your boss, the person corrected you and you improve in yourself. You get? So it make us to improve in ourselves. It also focus. So constructive criticism focus on behavior or work, not character. So when somebody construct when somebody criticizes you constructively, it's focusing on what the behavior. I want you to do better in this. I know that you are doing better. I know you are hardworking, but I realize that you just work without being organized. There are some people that they are very hardworking. You see them walking around the company, walking around the office, but let me ask them, what have they done so far? They have not done anything. So when you notice that, you are trying to correct the person constructively that I know you are hardworking, I know you are agile, but you need to manage your time. You need to know what to do part time. When you have a lot of jobs or tasks to attend to, you need to prioritize and do it accordingly. So it's focusing on the behavior, not the character. So constructive criticism is also specific and helpful. So it makes the person to become better, it makes the person to improve in herself, and it is being addressed in a respective tone. Not that what are you even doing? You do not even know anything to do. You are incompetent. You are this. You are that. No, you see the person wrongs, but you are respectfully giving your suggestion. Know that you are demonizing the person, that you did not even want it or not. So an example is your analysis is strong, but the conclusion feel rush. Maybe add a paragraph that summarize your main point and implications and all. We are doing an academic presentation and or any other presentation. So this is just a constructive way to give it to critiques. Next slide. So next slide shows the structure of a criticism. You see the definition is there. Criticism is on constructive criticism refers to providing feedback to a person or a group that is delivered to a positive tone in a positive tone with the intent of helping others improve. So when somebody tells you something about yourself, when somebody tells you something about what you are doing constructively in a positive tone, I know you are hardworking, but can you do better? I know you have been focusing on this specific area. Can you look at this other area and you may see results? So it is a constructive way to criticize, and you will see that you improve in yourself. The constructive criticism is honest. The person is honest about you, is genuine, and a well-meaning feedback that provide a critique of the strength and the weakness of something or someone. I've explained that, and the three times method involve recommendation. On next slide.
Okay.
So the next slide is talking about a destructive criticism. Like we all know, I said that we have constructive criticism, and we have destructive criticism. So when we are talking about destructive criticism, the word destruction, you even know that means you are trying to reduce the person, you are trying to control. So the aim is to hurt, to control, to offend, not to help, not to help. So anybody that is saying some of this, criticizing you about some specific things that does not look like this person want me to be better, is just trying to see my effort and rubbish it. It is a destructive criticism, and this can be common when we are talking about an aggressive leader, a leader that does not, there are some kind of an autocratic leader may kind of have this kind of character, in the sense that you when you don't listen to the opinion of your followers, it may look like a constructive criticism. When they do something, no, I just want what I want, this is what I want, and it must be done my way. So it's ought when we do a constructive criticism, it's ought, and it looks like a control to the person you are criticizing. And he said it attack personality. You are lazy, and when you have a task to give, when your boss at work give you a specific task to do, and you're unable to meet up this task, instead of the person say you are doing well, but can you work better, can you work faster, the next thing the person will, the constructive criticism person or personality will say is what, you are lazy. These are we have different examples. Maybe we make it an interactive later, that we can also share our experience about being having a constructive criticism and destructive criticism. But we notice that somebody that is saying something does not see positive in you, personality, is a constructive is a destructive, sorry, is a destructive criticizer, if there is an English like that. Pardon me. Now it's also focused on verge and ash. You always mess things up. The person will be saying something like that. You mess things up. See the way you scattered what I've been doing. You have delayed us in the task you want to do. A lot of negative response can come out from them, and the person will not focus on solution. So instead of you to, now you know there is a problem, instead of you to suggest that let's do it this way, no, you won't be able to give the solution. So example is that you are useless, this is pathetic, do you ever do anything right? A destructive criticism focus on that, and many more. You can see more examples of what a destructive criticism all about. Next slide.
Okay.
Okay, now this is a picture showing the difference between a constructive criticism and a destructive criticism. And also, I want us to look at ourselves personally also, that which one do I have the character too. Let me give us, I don't know how many people are on call on the meeting, but let me make an interactive that which one, I'm trying to check the participants, which one do you think you have the traits? Which one do you think you don't have the traits? So from I can see Miss Faith. I don't know if you are here. Do you think you have a destructive criticism trait or a constructive criticism trait from Miss Faith?
Okay, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
So, so, according to my personality, I don't think I've ever said something bad to any other person before because I'm someone that cherish words. So I don't think I can ever do that. Even if the person is doing something bad, there's a way to present it so the person will not feel bad or feel less of themselves.
That's
Okay.
awesome. So that's good. So that one relates to compassionate. As a constructive criticism, you are compassionate in the way you address people, not disrespectfully. Okay. Mr. Odumurayo, I would like to hear your opinion. Are you not, and also some of these things we may not know we are doing it destructively until other person tells us, but sometimes also we do know that no, this is what I'm saying is wrong, what I'm saying is too harsh and all. So to
Hmm.
Mr. Adumurayo, please, your opinion, are you a destructive criticism person or a constructive criticism person? Your personality now.
Sorry, good evening. I
Good
want
evening,
to.
sir.
Good evening, everybody. I'm so
Yes,
sorry.
sir.
I'm just joining the section, but at least a little. I think I had a little. I joined during the constructive or destructive criticism. So, according
Okay.
to what Miss Faith said, I think I had that. Although I'm doing one thing or the other, but I want to say that. Sorry if I'm out of point, but I will just make a little contribution. Now, just like it is said, constructive and destructive. According to our resource person, constructive when you do it in such a way that it will not sound insulting to the person you are trying to talk to. Then destructive, the other way. Now, I used to say something. I'm sure every one of us here, I think we understand Yoruba a little. I used to say something that ọgbọ́n la máa fi ń kan àgbà ní Èkó. I hope we all understand that, sir. Sirs and Mas.
We are
Ọgbọ́n la máa
getting.
fi ń kan àgbà ní Èkó. And the meaning of that is this. When you want to talk to an elderly person or you want to correct an elderly person, you do it in such a way that the person will not feel insulted. You get? Like, let's say an elderly person is saying something that you don't like, and you want to tell the person that me ò dé like nǹkan tẹ́ ẹ̀ ń ṣe yìí o. It's not that you just say it like ẹ fi mí lẹ̀ now, what are you, leave me alone now. You do it in such a way that sir, why not do it this way, why not look at it this way, why not look at this way. That is the way constructive criticism look like. Like, you do it in a friendly manner. I don't know if the speaker has actually mentioned this, but you do it in a friendly manner that the person would, even though you are trying to correct that person or that person has done something wrong and you are trying to correct it, but the way the person will not feel insulted or will not feel inferior or will not feel like, okay, let's assume someone constructed or said something and constructed an English statement that is not correct. Instead of people saying, what's it about? You get that kind of thing. You just say it indirectly that, have you tried to consider it this way? What of if we try it this way? What of if we try it this way? So I feel it will be helpful to the person you are trying to talk to, and the person will not even feel insulted and will not feel inferior in that gathering. So I want to drop at that point for now. I'll
So
maybe
much.
I'll contribute later. Thank
Yeah,
you
have
very much
other
for the
provisions.
opportunity.
Thank you for your opinion. So, like the difference is that is here. A constructive criticism, the person will be respectful in saying it, encouraging, sensitive, solution focus, idea focus, objective, compassionate, and guidance. But a destructive criticism, the person will be aggressive, condescending, disrespectful, damaging, harsh, belittling, insulting, and insensitive. So please, you should just note some of these traits so that we may not, sometimes you may be respectfully saying something and still be harsh. Sometimes you may be sensitive about, I don't know whether you get my point. You may be
Yes.
respectfully saying it, and it can still be harsh in a kind of manner. Sometimes you may be saying it to encourage the person, but you are belittling the person. That, don't worry, you can do it. Abi, no, there are some ways that so that some of these traits will not interwoven it together, all because you want to help somebody. If you want to be a constructive criticism, let us know you want to be a, but trying to see, I see you are doing better. I see you are doing better, but can you even do it? So we should know how we do those things in our daily life. Next slide.
Okay.
So there are 5-step responses process. So when you are being criticized, there are five step of responses process. And the step one is when somebody told you something that you did not like, pause. Pause. I don't know whether I am yeah, pause and
Yes.
regulate. Just take a deep breath. I remember our lecturer, our organizer always emphasize on that take a deep breath. So pause and regulate. When you pause, this will make you to reflect on what the person have said. Okay, listen and clarify. Try to act. That's the second step. Listen and clarify. Please, what you said, can you say more? Can you clarify this point, this point, this point, this? So when the person try to clarify, then the third step is what? Acknowledge and validate. Okay, all right, all right, all right. I will do it this way. I will work on it. When your boss explain some certain things that you are not doing this, you are not doing that. Okay, okay, okay. I'll do it this way. I'll do it that way. So we must be able to acknowledge. Acknowledging our wrongs, acknowledging our mistake is very important when we are dealing with criticism. Because when you do not acknowledge that you are wrong, that one, even if you are right, when you do not acknowledge the message, let me use the message. When you do not acknowledge the message, you may not be able to act on it positively or negatively. So the next thing is respond, don't react. Okay, thank you for the notice. I will work on it. You have responded in terms of you give your words. Reacting means, but why do you talk? Why are you talking like that? Why are you doing this? I've been helping you. I've been doing this before. So just respond. Thank you for this. Acknowledge it. Thank you for this. You get? And the last step is decide on follow-up action. I will work on it. My next presentation will be better. My next job, my next responsibility will be better. But when you are the kind of person that you don't want to validate or acknowledge, you may not able to achieve step 4 and step 5. So as a somebody in our daily living, you must first acknowledge, you must first pause. After you have paused and regulate and clarify it, you must acknowledge and validate the message, not the messenger now, the message. Then you'll be able to respond and decide the follow-up action. Next slide.
Yeah.
Talking about evaluating criticism. Now, when somebody reach out to you and told you that I feel like what you did is not wrong. What is this is wrong. You should have done better. Now, like I said the other time, separate fact from opinion. So when you are dealing with criticism, look at the message. Is the message talking about a fact or is the message suggesting? So there are different. I feel like you should have done it this way. Now you should have done it this way, which means there is something in that message that the person wants you to pick. So pick the point and ignore what you feel like is making you sad. Pick the point. Pick the point. No matter how it is, know sure that you are picking. Even they always say that out of nonsense there is sense. So even if anybody is criticizing you in in a destructive manner, just know that there is a message inside. So you make sure that you pick the point. Look for 10% truth. Is there anything here that could help me improve? So no matter how the person attack you, no matter how the person encourage you, there will be something that you need to learn. I feel you should have done it better. You should have done it so in this way. Then look at, no matter how it is, even if the person is attacking you destructively, there will be a 10% truth. So ensure that in every criticizing way, try to reflect, try to pick, is there anything I can pick in this message? Then use it, and use as data, not as judgment. So use as data in the sense that the next in my next presentation, in my next work or responsibility, in my next character, my behavior, and all, I will do better. Not that I cannot even do it again. I'm tired and all. No, we should just know how to evaluate ourselves when we're talking about evaluating criticism. Next slide. So when we are talking about handling harsh criticism, now if somebody that you know you know yourself that you have done well, you spent hours making a presentation, you spent hours preparing the work and all, but still somebody is there that say, what is this, what is all the what have you done and all. So in that kind of regard, you know, to set boundaries. Your friend may be saying, you know, I remember once when I was in maybe secondary school or university days, um I have a friend that all what he does is to, when the lecturer comes to class, the only thing he's looking for is the wrong the lecturer is probably what he says that is wrong. So we want to pick that statement. So if you have kind of a friend or anybody that have a personality of looking at the only the negative side of everything, then you need to set boundaries. You need to move away from that kind of person, because there is a way they can affect you psychologically, that you also begin to look at the wrong, the fault in everybody's life. So you need to set boundaries when you are working with someone with harsh handling. When you are was working with somebody with harsh criticism, personality or traits, you need to use assertive communication. Now, when you have tried your best and somebody is still making sure that what you have done does not meet up with task, you need to be assertive. I can't forget one of my lecturers told us that in life, be assertive and be confident even when you do not know what you are saying. Be assertive and be confident. So this statement that has always been ringing, that in my daily living I must be assertive. Something that happens in my place of work, the person that I was dealing with is permanent secretary in Oyo State. So the overall doctors, everybody in Oyo State, it was the person I was dealing with. The person in the opposite. So after a procedure, it was unfortunate that the person in where I work, I there is what we call sub count. We need to count what we put. When you are doing an operation, you need to count the sub so that they will not forget it inside the stomach. So I know the amount I've counted that I put there. I told him, sir, I put abdo and five abdo. You call it abdo and gauze. This man said he counted it that it is four. I said, I'm very sure that it is five. He said, no. I said, he did not know what he's saying. I'm telling you, this is the overall doctors in Oyo State, in the state government. So I said, I'm very sure. They are about to close up the abdomen of the woman. So the anesthetics and other assistant surgeon were there. So because I was confident of what I said, he said, okay, let's remove it. So they have to open the stomach back, they have to open up. And after they open up, he tried to do wuru wuru, he did not say anything. He was like, it's four. I said, it's very sure. I'm very sure, sir. After he dipped down his hand, then he find the abdomen inside the stomach of the woman. He could not say anything. I'm telling you, this man did not utter thank you. This man did not utter, you saved my life, you saved my license. But the anesthetic kept telling me that you just saved us, you just saved us, you just saved us. Thank you. She kept saying it to my ear that thank you, thank you. Now the next day, they say this man saw me. Oh. This man did not even say thank you for yesterday. Now I realize that. So this is his character. He will never accept that you have. No, there are some people like that. When you reach
Mm.
some certain point, that you will realize that you are the boss. Even your younger ones can correct you. So we must also know that we must be assertive in our communication. Be sure that this is this. Disengage if necessary. So there is a point that you need to disengage some information, you need to ignore and all. That's just by the way. The next slide. Online negative comment. So we are talking about two things. We are talking about handling criticism and negative comment. So if there is an online negative comment, which is often more extreme of recent, and we already have people trolling people. People can quickly judge you online. They don't even know you, can quickly judge you and say, what are you saying? No, there can be frequently from strangers who don't know nothing about you. So when you are having these kind of things online, what do you need to do? The first thing you need to do is to ignore the troll. Ignore the troll in the sense that ignore what they are saying. Just focus on the message you have passed. If there is a need for you to delete their comments, please delete. If there is a need for you to block the person, please block. And there is another thing that I discover or I do of recent, that I anybody that I feel is a personal thing. Anybody that I feel that will negatively affect my life, I either delete them, delete their contact, and ignore them. So you can also develop that if you know that these people will have negative psychologically on you, or it will have effect on you negatively, please just make sure that you move away from them. So the next thing is respond briefly. So when you are talking about handling negative comments, you need to respond briefly. Thank you for your comments, sharp. Don't need to be dragging them. When you drag, it will prolong issues, block or report the abuse. Next slide. So I think I've taken a lot of time on building long-term resilience to criticism. The first thing is you need to strengthen self-esteem and identity. This will help you to, in terms of your self-esteem and identity, actively seeking a constructive feedback and reflect on experience. I don't want to drag more on this, but it's just talking about seeking a constructive feedback from people. Next slide. Okay, so it's all about practical exercise and all. So we can do that on our in our layer of from 1 week. Write down the criticism you received. So you can do that. Write down the criticism you received, your immediate emotional reactions, what part was useful for you, how you respond, and what you change. So you can just do that. This one will help us in handling how people criticize us, and also will help us to be a better person. So we talk about role play. You and somebody can do it. Okay, this is talking about one person giving feedbacks. So one person is talking in a constructive way, the other person is talking in a destructive way or harsh. So what is the focus? The other practice the other practices the 5 responses. So when the person is talking constructively, pause, clarify, acknowledge, respond, and decide. When the talking is talking harshly, pause, clarify, acknowledge, respond, and decide. So these are part of the way we can help ourselves to be a better person. And the last one, last try saying you write the comment, individual or group. So take an example of a harsh or a vague criticism, write it in a constructive feedback, make it specific, focus on the behavior and work. I've said this before, and add at least one suggestion for improvement. So in conclusion, criticism can help us to grow, it can help growth, it can help us to respond calmly, and it also focus on improvement. Thank you for your time.
Well, I'm coming. Okay, thank you very much for that wonderful presentation. It was really a great one. And my take home for today's section was the part whereby you took your time to explain the difference between constructive criticism and destructive criticism, because at times it might be difficult to differentiate between the two. So that was really a great one. Thank you very much for that, sir.
Welcome.
Yes, sir. And we're going to be moving into the live chat for today's section. But I don't know, before we move into that, I don't know if anyone have one or two things to say, or maybe you have experienced criticism before and you want to share with us how you handled such criticism. I don't know if there's anyone here who can explain. Okay, Miss Faith, please, you can go ahead.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you to our speaker because he has done a lot of justice to this topic. So I just wanted to share an experience where I experienced destructive criticism. So I
Okay.
just told this person that, okay, I got this, like it was like I got a job, right? So
Yes.
this person that is the person not still poor, that person has said yes, the person is still poor, right? And I was sitting down low. So in my head, I could not talk, I could not say anything. Fine, you know that the salary is more or it's not small, trust me. But it was just trying to downplay the job, the role. Do you get? Maybe I would just let
Yes.
the job go, or maybe I wouldn't do it. Do you get? It was just trying to discourage me to do that. Do you get? So I felt
Yes,
somehow in my spirit. Well, trust me, I didn't say anything. But do you know what was in my mind? I need to upskill myself. I
okay.
need to upgrade myself to get another hover. Do you understand? So ever since then, the person might not know the gravity of what he told me, but still, the thing is still in my mind. And I even had this in mind that if eventually I later got another job, another role, I will now tell the person that very day that he told me that I'm still poor.
Oh, wow. Wow. Wow, that's really nice. So what you did, like in summary, what you did was telling yourself that yes, I need to upgrade my skill. Yeah, that's a very nice one. Thank you very much for sharing your experience. I don't know if there's any other person who is willing to share his or her experience here. Okay, to avoid wasting of our time, let's quickly move into the live chat for today. I'm going to be asking like about 4 questions and we'll call it a day. So the first question says, a colleague publicly dismisses my idea in a meeting, saying that's not really thought through. I smile to keep the peace, but inside I'm crushed. How do I undo the moment without losing my composure? And what do I do with the odds afterwards? Let me repeat the question, Sam. The question says, a colleague publicly dismisses my idea in a meeting, saying that's not really thought through. That's what the person said. Then I smiled to keep the peace, but inside I'm crushed. How do I undo the moment without losing my composure? And what do I do with the odds afterward?
Okay, thank you for the question. Like I said, that when handling or when dealing with criticism, the focus is more of the message, not the messenger. So if you focus on the message, check what the person is saying. Is it something that is it making sense? Is the person saying something that what being trying to check about? If it is making sense, then you need to stay focused and you need to ignore the messenger. So you need to be calm. It's very important that you need to be calm. You need to just thanks for what you have said. I appreciate. Then after the person have said that, you need to now check what is being said. You need to check what part do you need to work on. So the message now, the fact. When I was talking about the fact and the tone, how is the person saying it? How we deliver a message sometimes is very important. The fact in the
Yes.
sense that was there something useful in the message, in the criticism. So within your colleagues, you check, I think this person is making sense. And if it is opposite, you need to what? You need to check how the message is being delivered, the tone at which it is being delivered. Sometimes we deliver our messages in a wrong tone. It can be a wrong tone, it can be a wrong environment. Like me, I do stare my parents. One of the things I hate most is comparison. Comparison that is, when we are growing up, I remember when I was growing up before I gained admission, they always told me that ọmọ lágbájá ló ti lọ sí school yẹn. I hate that statement. I don't know if if any of us have had that in the past. Ọmọ lágbájá ló ti wọ University of Kinikan yẹn, so I should go and focus on my book and read. Everybody's time is different, and it must be in a constructive way, so that don't we should not also be making our comparison destructively. You can compare positively. You can see your peers doing good and become better, but you should note some of the ways, the tone, the environment, and how it is being said. I wish I think I have able to answer that, ma.
Yes. Thank you. Sorry, thank you very much for answering the question. So I'll be moving to the second question for today. The question says, a close friend tells me I'm just being honest before saying something hurtful. I'm left wondering if honesty should ever feel this painful. How do I handle brutal honesty from people who claim to love me? I repeat the question. The question says, a close friend tells me I'm just being honest before saying something hurtful. I'm left wondering if honesty could ever feel this painful. How do I handle brutal honesty from people who claim to love me? That's the question.
Okay, thank you. I think a lot of people have this one of these kind of friends that they don't mind the environment. They will just see it as it is. They will just see it anyhow. That we do have that kind of people around our circle, and it is very important that we know how to handle them. Number one is that those people that say anything anyhow, they may not know they say it anyhow. They may not know the address anyhow. They may not know the talk anyhow, and in the hope of being honest. So you need to let them know that I appreciate what you are saying, but I don't like the way you are addressing me. There's a difference between truth and insensitivity. You may be honest, but you are not sensitive, in the sense that I just want to speak the truth. You are speaking the truth at my own detriment of my mental health. You are speaking the truth at my own emotional status or health. It will be hurtful for the person that is receiving the message. So you must know the difference. You need to set boundaries. That's why we talk about setting boundaries. If you have a friend that is saying brutal honesty, I just want to talk it brutally as it is, and it is hurting you, you need to set boundaries. You need to let the person know you don't like that kind of message, or the person should know how to address you. And there is a way you can also talk it together, and I feel like you will respectfully to be talked together respectfully. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you very much for that. To create boundaries for such kind of friend. Okay. The third question says, I received a harsh comment on social media from a stranger. I know I shouldn't care, but it stays in my head for days. How do I stop strangers' opinion from affecting my peace? I repeat the question. The question says, I received a harsh comment on social media from a stranger. I know I shouldn't care, but it stays in my head for days. How do I stop strangers' opinion from affecting my peace?
Okay, thank you for the question. Well, I want us to also know that when we receive comments from social media, either the harsh or the otherwise, we need to know that, especially harsh comments, People that made their comments, they don't know you. They don't know the
Yeah.
full details about your personality. They don't know the full details about yourself. They don't know the any. They only have a glimpse of opinion about yourself. So you should not base their opinion as, you not take them as 100% serious. They only know, they don't have a complete information about you or your personality. So you should not know, you should know that anything they are saying it based on one particular, like 1%, 2%, 3%, or 10% of who you are. So how do you want to manage them? One of the way to manage them is what, or is to free the space. Free the space. If there is need for you uh to ignore the comment, is not bad. If there is need for you to delete the comment, is not bad. If there is need for you to block the individual, is not bad. Just to free your space. So when you free your, cause at that point your peace is important. Your peace is important. And when you start, because one of the things psychology does to us is that when we see something that hurts us, we tend to go to see the comment one every time. We tend to go there every time to go and check. This is what the person said to us. This is what the person said. So it will be ringing in your mind. So it better you delete, ignore, and block the person because of your mental health and your free peace. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you very much for that. Son. And let me ask the last question for tonight. The question says, a family member constantly makes comments about my life choices, my career, my relationship, my appearance. I love them, but their words leave me feeling small. How do I set boundaries with someone who believes they have the right to speak into my life? I'll repeat the question. The question says, a family member constantly makes comments about my life choices, my career, my relationship, my appearance. I love them, but their words leave me feeling small. How do I set boundaries with someone who believes they have the right to speak into my life?
Okay, thank you for the question. As much as uh, we have our loved ones, our family members that in one way or the other they are involved in our life, we should also know that they have boundaries. They have, if they, once they cross the certain boundaries that you don't like about yourself, you need to let them know. You can say
Okay.
it respectfully. You can say it in the sense that I acknowledge your opinion, but this is my take on this. I can actually go for it. I know the reasons I'm going for this. So this will reduce how much personal information you give them. When you realize that the family is not against your opinion, they are criticizing you every time and all, it will reduce how much information you give them. You can also you need to repeat that you are crossing boundary. So when somebody in the family members on is saying something that is affecting your mental health, saying criticizing you every now and then, you need to tell the person you are crossing your boundary. And it is very important we emphasize on that please, this is what I want. Please accept me for who I am. And also you need to understand that the boundaries may feel harsh at the beginning, but at the point they will know you for who you are. One of the things that I do is, I remember before when I want to go to sleep during the afternoon, I will tell them, please don't wake me up. So initially they do wake me up, but when I constantly tell them that please don't wake me up, they know me for who I am, that when I'm sleeping in the afternoon, let him be. He will wake up by himself. So by the time you say it one, two, three times, they'll be used to who you are. Thank you.
Wow. Okay. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for answering all the questions. But before we go, personally, I have a question. And the
Okay.
question is there a situation whereby, okay, maybe you have been criticized about a particular thing? You know, you've been telling us that, okay, create boundaries, find peace, something like that. Is there a situation whereby when someone criticizes you, you can give immediate feedback? I'll put it in defense. You're trying to defend yourself in that situation. So
Yes.
immediately that first criticism comes in, the fight and flight mode turns on. So what can is it proper? I don't know how to put it because I was in a particular situation whereby I was criticized about something, and the first thing that came to my mind was talking back at that person like, oh, you are the one who is wrong, you don't talk to me like that kind of thing. And personally, I'm even someone that don't talk. If you step on my toes 10 times, I can still enjoy. But that particular moment, the way the person talks, the first thing that came to my mind was talking back at that person. Is such is it good, or in no
Yes,
situation someone
I,
should just let it go?
I get your point. The thing is that it all depends on the environment, the situation at that point. It's not bad if you reply a criticism to defend yourself, to clear the doubt immediately. There's some doubt that it is better you clear it immediately than waiting for it to stay your white. So when the situation is about betting your who you are, when is a wrong narrative of who you are, when is a wrong definition or perception of who you are, saying it into your face or outside, or when you discover that people are trying to blackmail you outside and you got that information and it's true that they are blackmailing you, please, it is necessary that you correct them instantly and they will know that no, this person did not take this wrong or shit and all, and they will appreciate, they will understand you for that is who you are. So the next thing, that's the next error or next kind of that kind of issue will not occur again next time.
Yeah.
So it's not bad to speak up.
Okay. Right. Thank you very much for that, sir. So we have come to the end of today's section. I want to appreciate everyone for the session for showing up and taking their mind as a priority, because joining our weekly live session is a way of healing from certain mind issues. So I appreciate everyone who joined tonight. So I want us to leave with a few simple truths to carry with us. First, I would like to say that not every criticism is true. Just because someone said it does not make just because someone said it does not make it fact. Learn to ask yourself one question: does this person love me? Do they want the best for me? If the answer is no, let such word go. And secondly, we cannot control what people say about you. You can't control what people say about you, but you can control what you allow to stay in your heart. You have the power to reject a negative comment. You do not have to welcome every word into your spirit. And I want you to know that the people who love you will correct you with kindness. The people who do not know you will attack you with cruelty, and that is true. Learn to tell the difference between constructive criticism and destructive criticism. One of it is growth. The other one, that's destructive criticism, is just noise. So finally, I want us to be careful not to become the voice that criticizes yourself the most. Sometimes the harshest words come from within. So be kind, be as kind to yourself as you would be to a friend who is hurting. I want us to know that. And before we go, I would like us to say a short prayer, and it says, Father, thank you for every person here today. You know every word that has wounded them. You have seen every tears. We ask you now to heal those wounds. Silence the voice that speaks lies. Help us to hear only your voice, the one that calls you beloved, enough, and worthy. Give us wisdom to know which words to keep and which to release, and give us peace that does not depend on what others says, in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you very much once again. Thanks to our speaker for today. Really appreciate you for the wonderful section. Thanks for your time. And we hope to see you all again next week. Next week, we are going to be looking at the topic that says self-love. It's going to be a very wonderful one. So I want us to there.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
very much. Good night, everybody. Thank you.